Hi everybody, welcome to class this week. I just here in the morning in Hong Kong and just looking out from the island here over the bay, and it's a beautiful day. It looks like it's gonna be a little bit cloudy today anyway, but it's just on that tipping point in Hong Kong where it's gonna get really, really hot and sticky and gross and disgusting. So anyhow, I've got a nice long layover here, and so I'm just doing this early in the morning and about to head out soon. Okay, so I just wanted to start the class today, just a little bit more of an introduction on Essence of True Eloquence, and in particular, just keep this short. I just wanted to read one of Tsongkhapa's poems. Robert Thurman starts his book with this poem, just from Tsongkhapa as a way of almost introducing and also kind of getting a blessing for the material, and I'd like us to do the same thing. So, starting with Heart Sutra here. Homage of perfection, wisdom, the Blessed Mother. Thus I've heard, at one time the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajgir in Mass Vulture's Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and nuns and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. That time Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. That time also Spirit of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, was looking perfect at the practice of profound perfection wisdom, looking perfectly also at the five aggregates being empty of inherent existence. Then through the power of Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Spirit of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, how should a son of the lineage trained who wishes to engage in the practice of profound perfection wisdom? Thus he spoke, and Spirit of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, replied to Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whatever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of profound perfection wisdom should look perfectly like this. Subsequently, looking perfectly and correctly also at the five aggregates being empty of inherent existence, form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is none other than form. Form is also none other than emptiness. Likewise, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty as having no characteristics. They not produce and do not cease. They have no defilement, no separation from defilement. Therefore, they have no decrease, and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mentality, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no tactile object, no phenomenon. There is no element, and so forth, up to no mentality element, also up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance, and no exhaustion of ignorance, and so forth, up to no aging and death, and no exhaustion of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, origin, cessation, or path, no exalted awareness, no attainment, also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom. Their minds have no obstructions and no fear. Passing on and beyond perversity, they attain the final nirvana. Also, all Buddhas reside perfectly in 3 times, having relied upon the perfection of wisdom, became manifest complete Buddhas in a state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequal mantra, the mantra that truly pacifies solves all suffering, since it's not false, should be known as the truth. Mantra of perfection of wisdom is proclaimed, Tayantam Gata Gata Paragata Parsam Gati Bodhisoha. Shariputra, Bodhisattva, great beings should train the profound perfection of wisdom like this. Then the Blessed One arose in that concentration and said to Spirit of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, that had spoken well. Good, O Sutherland, just like that. Since it's like that, just as you have revealed in that way, the profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced, and the Tathagatas will also rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, Spirit of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, and the entire circle of disciples, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, and spirits, were delighted and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. Okay, so let's just take a moment now to do our prayers, opening prayers of Canon Lagima, Yoga of Lama Tsongkhapa. So again, taking a moment to visualize that we're seated in a wide open space, ground like lapis lazuli, beautiful blue sky above us, and that we're surrounded by all sentient beings of the 6 realms. Mother on our left, Father on our right, people we love the most behind us as support, and people we like the least to have issues with in front of us as objects of our compassion. Spreading up from there, people from all over the world, all animals and beings in the natural ecosystem, countless beings from the spirit world, celestial beings, gods and demigods, and beings from lower states of rebirth, hungry ghosts and hell beings, all of us here together. In the sky, just in front and above us, beautiful vision of Tashita Pure Land. Pure Land of the Universal Buddhas and Buddha Wisdom, Manjushri. So beautiful valleys and mountains and lakes and forests and so forth. In the center here, we're seeing just a little monastic town, different temples, shrines, so forth. All Buddhist bodhisattvas, monks and nuns, yogis, yoginis, gods, goddesses, and so forth. Everybody here meditating and studying Dharma. In the central, in a big cathedral, inside the doors are open, we can see, is the future Buddha, fifth universal Buddha, Buddha Maitreya, Buddha of loving kindness. Beautiful golden body and a throne, sitting on a throne like a chair, with silks and beautiful crown. And he has his hand in the turn of the wheel of Dharma Mudra, holding two white lotuses. And on his right or our left is the founder of the old Kanapa tradition in Tibet, Atisha, Deepakar Vijayana from India. And on the other side is founder of new Kanapa tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, our tradition, the Gelug tradition, Je Tsongkhapa. Showing just their connection to one another as well as their connection to Tashita Pure Land and Buddha Maitreya in particular. Now, Buddha Maitreya's heart, little golden eternal knot, simple. That becomes beautiful white fluffy clouds. Again, on the clouds are Je Tsongkhapa on a lion throne, lotus, moon, sun seat, and he's with three robes of a monk, again, the way we usually see him, with the turn of the wheel, Mudra Dharma, and two white lotuses. The left one has the Prajnaparamita Sutra, 100,000 lines, and right one has a flaming sword. And then in front of him, on his right or our left, is Jalpa Gyatso, his first main student, became the first Ganon throne holder. And he's got a little text in his lap, lotus position with the teaching mudra. And then the other one, Kidrupje, is on our right, or Tsongkhapa's left. Same kind of mudra, teaching mudra with the text. I take refuge here. I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I attain enlightenment. By the merit accumulated from practicing generosity of the perfections, may I attain enlightenment to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I attain enlightenment. By the merit accumulated from practicing generosity and the perfections, may I attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I attain enlightenment. By the merit accumulated from practicing generosity and the perfections, may I attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. Four measurables of love, compassion, joy, and equanimity. May all beings have happiness in its causes. May all beings be free of suffering in its causes. May all beings constantly dwell in joy transcending sorrow. May all beings dwell in equal love for both those close and distant. From the heart of the protected hundreds of days of joyful land to the peak of a cloud is like a cluster of fresh white curd. All-knowing Losendra, King of the Dharma, please come to this place together with your two chief disciples. So when we say this, we can just feel that Je Tsongkhapa and his two students, kind of like rolling on a carpet, clouds are coming closer. So in the sky is this beautiful Pure Land or paradise, and kind of being lowered right to you, just in front of you, above you, almost just like heart to heart here, are Je Tsongkhapa and his two students. It's almost like we could reach out and touch them here. In the space before me, on the line from lotus and moon, the Venerable Guru's smile of delight. Supreme field of merit from my mind of faith, please remain for 100 aeons to spread the teachings. Your minds of wisdom realizes the full extent of objects of knowledge. Your eloquent speech is the ear ornament of the fortunate. Your beautiful body is ablaze with the glory of renown. I prostrate to you, whom to see, to hear, remember so meaningful. Pleasing water offerings, various flowers, sweet-smelling incense, light-scented water, and so forth. A vast cloud of offerings both set out and imagined, and offer to you supreme field of merit. Whatever non-virtues of body, speech, and mind accumulates in time without beginning, especially transgressions from the 3 levels of vows. Great remorse I declare each one from the depths of my heart. In this degenerate age of so for much learning and accomplishment, abandoning the 8 worldly concerns, you made your leisure and endowment meaningful. Protector, from the very depths of my heart, I rejoice in the great wave of your deeds. From the billowing clouds of wisdom and compassion, the space of your enlightened minds, O venerable holy gurus, please send down a rain of vast and profound dharma appropriate to the disciples of this world. May your Vajra body, created from the purity of clear light, free of the rising and setting of cyclic existence, but visible to the ordinary viewer only in some subtle physical form, still unchanging without waiting until samsara ends. Through the virtues I've accumulated here, may the teachings and all living beings receive every benefit, especially may the essence of the teachings of Lama Je Tsongkhapa shine forever. Mandal offering, holding a purified universe at our heart here, as an offering to the merit field. This mandala is built on a blaze resplendent with flowers, saffron, water, and incense, adorned with Mount Meru, foreland, sun, and full moon. By offering this pure mandala to you, assembly of Buddhists here before me, may all living beings experience pure happiness and be reborn in the Pure Lands. Now visualizing from Je Tsongkhapa's heart and Japa Gyatso Khenchupchi's heart, beautiful golden light is going out to all directions, blessing light. And best we can just feel like little tubes of light, little needles under the crown of our head, and all light and nectar is going into us. So just like sunshine in all directions here to all sentient beings and in us, that we just become this sort of glowing ball of bliss and joy and good energy here while we recite the mantra, the long mantra of Je Tsongkhapa. Meg me se wei ter chen chen rei zi, dream ken pe wang po jam pao yang, du pung ma lu chom se sang wei dan, gan chen ke pe su kien song kapa, lo sang dra pe sha bla so wa de, meg me se wei ter chen chen rei zi, dream ken pe wang po cham pao yang, du pung ma lu jom se sang wei dan, gan chen ke pe sun kien song kapa, lo sang dra pe sha bla so wa de, meg me se wei ter chen chen rei zi, dream again pe wang po cham pao yang, du pung ma lu chom se sang wei dan, gan chen ke pe su kien song kapa, lo sang dra pe sha bla so wa de. Now looking inside our hearts is a beautiful little white petaled white lotus made out of energy. And on it is a white moon disc. It's about the size of a quarter or so, just inside our, if you want, well, actually you can keep going smaller. You can make it like a little dime or even keep going smaller than that. Just concentrating your prana into your heart chakra here. Recite here. Glorious and precious root Guru, please come to the lotus and moon seat at my crown. May your great kindness please remain with me and bestow upon me the blessings of your body, speech, and mind. Glorious precious root Guru, please descend to the lotus and moon seat at my heart. May your great kindness please remain with me and grant me the common and supreme realizations. Glorious precious root Guru, please remain in the lotus and moon seat at my heart. Your great kindness please remain with me, remain firm until I achieve the essence of enlightenment. So with that, make this request here. And we can just feel that all just sheet of Pure Land starts melting into golden light and dissolving into Buddha Maitreya. And even just like the little Tisha and Je Tsongkhapa dissolve into him too, like two little balls of light go in. And just like a sun, he starts coming towards us, scooping up all the clouds, dissolving into Je Tsongkhapa, all the clouds, lion thrones, and so forth. And Japa Gyatso and Khenchupchi turn into balls of golden light and then go inward and dissolve into Je Tsongkhapa. And then he gets really, really small, the size of a little mustard seed, if you like, or if you want to make it bigger, a sunflower seed. Comes to the crown of our head, turns around and slowly starts to descend. He's made out of light. So we can enter the crown of our heart, our head here into our central channel, And from our crown chakra starts to descend to our throat and into our heart chakra. It's just like a little helicopter. He lands in the center of the moon disk on the lotus. And just feel that the lotus starts to close. It's like a little bulb at our heart. And then it's tied shut like a little thread to secure it. The top mantra runs clockwise, Amarapatsanadi in gold, Manjushri mantra. And then below Je Tsongkhapa short mantra, Om Guru Vajradhar Samadhikirti Siddhi Om. And that's running counterclockwise. Again, just like putting butter on a hot plate or in a frying pan here, just all melts and dissolves into us. Great bliss and joy and luminous quality to luminosity here, awakeness. Okay. So just like to recite this poem, which is the poem Praise of Dependent Arising, Praise of Emptiness, I guess you could say, that Je Tsongkhapa wrote kind of on the day of his enlightenment, which is, I always just think, really, really beautiful. So we'll see just as this kind of goes on, where just hold the background for him composing this text of Essence of True Eloquence. I'd like to, even on the next talk that I record here, giving a little bit of a biographical sketch of Tsongkhapa. I mean, it's just going to be very, very long going into that. But I would like to just give a few things, because I think a lot of times I don't, I'm always referring to Tsongkhapa, but then some people, like me nowadays, you have Wikipedia, what am I talking about? But it's just, sometimes it's just nice to know some of the big things that he did. He's sometimes seen as this distant, amazing, unbelievable saint, when really it's nice to remember just some basic facts just of his life and just all the incredible things that he did, just to inspire and to motivate us, right? I've got the old days I read Robert Thurman's kind of original biography on Tsongkhapa, but I've got the new one, just started and I have to get through it, from Tubden Jinpo, which is quite exhaustive now, which is amazing. I'm really, really glad. I think Simran Bishop, they might have put out a graphic novel or a comic book on his life, which I think is great. I just, it's super awesome. So I'd like to, in the next one, just talk about some of the main big moments of his life, just see how they tie together with him putting together this book here of Essence of True Eloquence, and just the sort of ideas that go also into the ACI course on number 15. So upon reaching enlightenment, he was, and actually some of these, it's kind of sad, but some of these great lamas were amazing poets. And a lot of that times, I mean, I'm just a huge fan of poetry, right? It's one of the few things I take seriously in life. And, but oftentimes, because people aren't into poetry or whatever, and as we know, that I love this movie with Adam Driver a few years ago, Patterson, about this bus driver who's a poet. It's like one of my favorite movies. But he meets this Japanese poet, and Japanese poet says reading poetry and translations like having a shower with a raincoat on. And of course, this is always the issue: is translation. How do we go from one language to another, one conceptual map to another, so to speak? It's very, very difficult, and that's why you have to be a very, very skilled translator to be able to translate poetry, because oftentimes the metaphors just don't work. They just don't cross over. They're just too culturally specific or linguistically specific, some of the lines or whatever. So it's the same thing. I had two translations of the Six Dalai Lama's poetry, for instance. One of them was really bad. Better than I could do, I'm sure, but it was just, the translation just wasn't that good. And the other one, you could see reading the same poems back to back, it's like the one translator was just so much better at getting it. But even then, I mean, what's it in the Tibetan? I can't read Tibetan, so it's going to be much, much better reading it in the original. But anyway, so a lot of times these poetry books aren't translated, and it's very, very sad because some of these lamas and great yogis and yogis are incredible poets. We always just think of someone like maybe Milarepa or Shapkar or something like that, but a lot of them, a lot of great Galupa lamas are amazing poets. And Je Tsongkhapa was a great poem. I have that one, I can't remember the name of it, the Autumn Moon book or something, I can't remember. It's just his devotional verse, and it's just unbelievable. I'm so happy I read it. There's incredible poems to, like, let's say Saraswati and so forth. And they said that Saraswati, goddess of wisdom, the feminine aspect of the Buddha of wisdom, Manjushri, that he was in visionary contact with her, and that her blessing, goddess Saraswati, just like Hindu goddess patron of the arts and wisdom and writing and everything, informed her. He was kind of like channeling her when he was writing all these books, and you can certainly see why. So anyway, upon that, Je Tsongkhapa, a great poet, as well as a great philosopher and scholar and yogi, and a great institutor of traditions, Buddhism and this and that, and great historicism. I mean, you can just keep going on and on and on. Great healer. He was also an amazing poet. So on the sort of dawn of his enlightenment, he wrote this beautiful, very, very famous poem praising the Buddha. So eulogy, Buddha Shakyamuni, for his teaching of relativity or dependent arising or conventional reality. So this is, I think it's beautiful that he, the two people you'd want to write to on the day of your enlightenment would be your teacher and to Buddha. I mean, those, in that being sort of them being almost like the same person, right? So it's beautiful that he wrote this poem to Buddha Shakyamuni himself. So here goes, just as a devotional verse for us for this course here. Reverence to the Guru, Manjughosha, or Manjushri. I praise that perfect Buddha, the supreme philosopher who taught us relativity, free of real cessation and creation, beyond nihilism and absolutism, with no real coming and no real going, neither unity nor plurality, the quieting of fabrications, bliss supreme. I bow down to him whose insight and speech make him unexcelled as sage and teacher, the victor who realized ultimate truth, then taught us relativity. Misknowledge itself is the very root of all the troubles in this fleeting world. Who understood that and then reversed it, taught universal relativity. Thereupon, how could it be possible that the geniuses would not understand that this very path of relativity as the vital essence of your teaching? Such being the case, who could discover anything even still more wonderful to sing your praises for, O Savior, than your teaching of relativity? Whatever depends upon conditions is empty of intrinsic existence. What excellent instruction could there be more amazing than this discovery? Although the naive can seize upon it as just confirming their extremist bonds, the wise use that same relativity to cut their way out of fabrication's trap. This teaching is not to be found elsewhere, so you alone are entitled teacher, a term of consolation for escapists, like soothing a fox by calling him a lion. O wondrous teacher, O wondrous refuge, wondrous philosopher, wondrous savior, I pay full homage to that great teacher who well expounded relativity. O benefactor, to heal all beings, you proclaim profound relativity, the unrivaled reason to ascertain emptiness, the essence of the teaching. How could anyone who would understand the profound law of relativity as contradictory or unestablished ever fully understand your system? Your position is that when one perceives voidness as the fact of relativity, voidness of reality does not preclude the viability of activity. Whereas one pursues the opposite, action is impossible in voidness. Voidness is lost during activity. One falls into anxiety's abyss. Thus, experience of relativity is most recommended in your teaching, and not that of absolute nothingness, nor that of intrinsically real existence. The non-relative is like a sky flower, so there is nothing non-relational. Things' existence with objective status precludes dependence on cause and condition. Thus you proclaimed that just because no thing exists beyond relative occurrence, so nothing can really exist beyond the voidness of intrinsic reality. If things had any self-reality, since such could never be reversed, you said, nirvana would become impossible, since fabrications could not be reversed. Dauntless in the assemblies of the wise, you clearly proclaimed in your lion's roar, let there be freedom from identity. Who could ever presume to challenge this? All systems are completely viable, since lack of intrinsic existence and relativity do not conflict. Never mind that they complement each other. By the reason of relativity, there are no grounds to hold extremist views. From this excellent statement, you, Savior, are unexcelled among philosophers. All this objectively is emptiness, and from this cause will occur this effect. These facts are mutually non-exclusive. Certainties, they reinforce each other. Than this, what could ever be more wondrous? Than this, what could ever inspire more awe? For this one principle, if you are praised, it is real praise, and otherwise not so. Those held in the slavery of confusions helplessly resent you, so free and clear. Small wonder they find intolerable the sound of non-substantiality. But those who assert relativity, the precious treasury of your discourse, when they resent the roar of emptiness, really, they never cease to amaze me. They hold unexcelled relativity, the gateway to identitylessness, as a real identity just by name. Oh, how cleverly they deceive themselves. They should be led by whatever technique to that good path ever pleasing you, that incomparable shore of haven, well traveled by the highest holy beings. Reality unmade and non-related. Relativity made and relative. How could these two facts be brought together in one instance without contradiction? Therefore, the relatively occurrent, though ever free of self-reality, appears as if intrinsically real. So you said, all of this is like illusion. From this very fact, one well understands the central statement that, the way you taught, those who strive to challenge your teaching rationally can find no fallacy. Why? Because this, your elucidation, makes utterly remote the tendencies to reify and repudiate things, empirical and hypothetical. This very fact of relativity, the reason one sees your speech as matchless, generates the certitude of the reason embodied in all your other teachings. From real experience, you teach so well. Those who train themselves as your disciples go far beyond every kind of trouble, having reversed the root of all evil. But those who turn away from your teachings, though they struggle wearily long and hard, continue just to invite more problems, sticking to habitual views of self. Oh wonder, when the wise do not understand the difference between these two trainings, how can they fail to feel most gratefully reverence for you from their innermost hearts? Not to cite the richness of your teachings, to achieve more general understanding of just the meaning of some small portion confers even that the highest pleasure. Alas, my mind conquered by confusion, though I came from afar to seek refuge, in the profusion of your excellence, I could not embody its smallest part. Yet when I stand before the Lord of Death, and the stream of life is not quite ended, I will consider myself fortunate to have had even the slightest faith in you. O teachers, the teacher of relativity, of teacher, the teacher of relativity, of wisdoms, the wisdom of relativity. These are like imperial victors in the world, making you world champion of wisdom over all. Whatever you taught is penetrated by means of relativity itself, and since that really becomes nirvana, no deed of yours does not deliver peace. That's a really great line. Oh wonder, whoever hears your teaching finds liberating peace in everything. So who could possibly not respect those who strive to uphold such a teaching? As it overcomes all oppositions, is free from internal contradictions, and fulfills both main goals of human beings, my delight ever grows for this system. For its sake you gave again and again, throughout long incalculable aeons, sometimes your body, other times your life, your loved ones, and vast treasuries of wealth. When I see such excellences as yours, seeing how your heart anchors the teaching, just as the steel fish hook hooks tight the fish, how sad my faith not to hear it just from you. The very energy of that sadness keeps my mind unwavering from the teaching, as the attention of the anxious mother never wanders from the beloved child. Even when I reflect on your speech, thinking, that teacher radiantly haloed with veils of light rays, a blaze of the glory of magnificent signs and holy marks, spoke in this way with his heavenly voice. Then the image of great Shakyamuni, just flashing in my mind's eye, heals me well, as the moon's rays heal the pangs of fever. Though that good system is so marvelous, unskilled persons get totally confused in every respect, as if they were all entangled like a coconut's hairs. Having understood this problem, I then schooled myself in the writings of skilled sages, studying with manifold exertions, seeking your intent again and again. And I studied numerous treatises of the Buddhist and other non-Buddhist schools, yet unremittingly my intellect was still tormented in the trap of doubt. So I went to the night lily garden of the treatises of Nagarjuna, prophecies to elucidate rightly the principle of your final vehicle, free from the extremes of being and nothing. That's like a famous line here. I went to the night lily garden, like at night the lilies open, of the treatises of Nagarjuna, of second Buddha, Arya Nagarjuna, prophecies to elucidate rightly the principle of your final vehicle, free of the extremes of being and nothing. There I saw, by the kindness of the Guru, all illuminated by garlands of white light, the true eloquence of the glorious moon, Chandrakirti, whose expanding orb of taintless wisdom courses freely in the sky of Scripture, dispels the darkness of extremist hearts, eclipses constellations of false truths, and then my mind at last obtained relief. Of all deeds, his speech is the supreme, and for this reason the true sages should commemorate a perfect Buddha for this teaching of relativity. I renounce the world on the example of that teacher. My study of the Victor speech is not inferior. I am a Buddhist monk, diligent in yoga practice, and such is my reverence for that most eminent seer. By my Guru's kindness, I was thus fortunate to meet the liberating teaching of the unexcelled teacher, and I dedicate this virtue as a cause for all beings being looked after by this holy spiritual teachers. May the teaching of that benefactor until world's end be undisturbed by the winds of perverse prejudices, and achieving faith in the teacher by understanding the natural way of the teaching, may it ever be full. May I uphold the wholesome system of Shakyamuni that illuminates the principle of relativity through all my lives, though I give up my body and even my life, may I never give it up, even for an instant. May I spend all day and night in the consideration of libertative techniques to propagate this success, which was achieved by that best leader through countless trials, by making strenuous efforts the essence of his lives. As I make effort on this way with pure high resolve, may the gods Brahma, Indra, and all the world protectors, good Mahakala and other Dharma guardians, be my constant friends forever and never let me down. So it says here, Colophon states, essence of true eloquence, praise of the unexcelled teacher, Lord Buddha, the unsolicited best friend of all peoples, from the perspective of his teaching, profound relativity, was composed by the learned monk Lo Tsongkhapa at the royal mountain retreat of Tibet, the heavenly retreat of Ode Gyangel, otherwise known as Victory Monastery. Described of this as Namke Palden. There we go. So let's just take that as a blessing to bless our minds to study this again, emptiness, dependent arising, and Buddha's final view of emptiness, and just cited the true intent of what Buddha was trying to teach to us. Blessings of all holy beings, the truth of karma, however pierce for intention, may all of our dharma wishes be fulfilled. Okay, see you next time.